Today I'm going to show you guys how to replace your steering shaft with a steering shaft out of a 1994 Jeep Cherokee. Alright, so the first thing I got to do is take off this screw down here on the bottom of the rag joint. I don't know if you guys can see that. So there's that one. Now we got to break this one loose. This one's going to be a bear. You might need a breaker bar of sorts to get to this one, because it's pretty tight. All right, now we're good to take this thing out. So the first thing, you want to make sure that that your steering wheel's straight. At this point, it'll just make it easier to put it back in. It does require a bit of a crowbar. GM didn't want these things to come loose. These were not designed to come back off. There we go. And we're out. Almost. So much for a steering wheel lock, huh? Boy, I guess that steering wheel works. The steering wheel lock works great on this truck. Alright, so first thing I gotta do to this is I gotta take this plastic liner off. Inside of here, there's, I think it's an adhesive, some sort of a plastic, and it's to prevent this thing from going in and out. You can't put it in your truck how it sits. So you have to heat this up with a torch, and then you'll be able to move it in and out. So once I heat it up with a torch, then I'm going to clean it off with a rag, and then I'll heat it up with the torch some more. I'll slide it in and out, and I'll keep doing that a couple of times until it can move freely. And we'll see what happens after that. That's it. That's all it takes. Highly recommend doing this in an open ventilated area. That stuff is extremely nasty. Even the smoke going into your eyes is actually kind of painful. I wasn't expecting that. Last time I installed one of these, it didn't seem near that bad. That stuff was crazy toxic. So I had to stop in the middle of it, open up, ventilate out my garage, because this was just terrible. It was bad. So just word of the wise, be careful. Now let's go put it in. All right, so something you want to keep track of when you take these out is you want to get the original bolts. You want to keep those, keep them from the junkyard, and take them with you, because you're going to need them. Because the old Jeep bolts don't work. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide that up there until it bottoms out. It's as far as it needs to go. I'll just take a Sharpie. Oh, focus, dude. And I'll just take a Sharpie just to indicate where the screw is at. Now I've already made sure that that my steering wheel is facing the right way, and I'm just going to take my regular old drummer. I don't know if the sanding disc will do it or not, but I'm going to try it, because there doesn't need to be that much taken off. It's very minimal, so we'll see. Well, that's the aftermath right there. Now all I gotta do is slide this on. Put some blue Loctite on it. You might actually want to use red Loctite. I don't have any, but the stuff inside of the steering shaft that I burned out is to prevent this thing from ever being able to slip off. So it's gonna be a good idea. And then now all I have to do is make sure that my steering wheel is straight. Try to get this one-handed. All right, so now I just work that back in there, slide it in. Make sure my steering wheel is straight. And then slide it on. Easier said than done, right? One-handed. But you get the idea. I'm gonna have to have two hands for this. I have no way to set up the camera for it, so I'll show you when I'm done. There we have it. It's installed. All right, well that's that. I appreciate you guys watching if you made it this far. Replacing that steering shaft is probably the #1 thing I've done in old Chevy steering systems that gets rid of slop. If you have quite a bit of slop inside of those steering systems, this is an extremely easy way and pretty cheap. The steering shaft that I bought, I went to one of my local junkyards. I don't have any actually pick and pull junkyards myself, but the one that I went to, it was still 20 bucks. I looked at it on Rock Auto, and on Rock Auto they're $110. On eBay they're going for between $50 and $70 for these Jeep steering shafts. So in the event that you want to make this modification to your steering system, it's awesome. One of the safety precautions that you need to make is you need to make sure that you put Loctite on those bolts to make sure that that thing doesn't come back off, because it could end up in that steering shaft falling off. And if you're moving at a high rate of speed and that steering shaft falls off, you're gonna be in a really, really bad way. So know that there may be some dangers, but if the safety precautions are taken, I don't see any harm in doing it. Now you have to do this at your own risk. So if you made it this far, I greatly appreciate it. Do me a favor, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and ring that little bell down at the bottom right next to the subscribe. And I'll see you again in the next video. Take care.